I would particularly like to welcome Ryue Nishizawa to Melbourne and to Australia. He has travelled overnight pretty much, so his Wednesday and Thursday have merged. A hell of a sacrifice to get here. Ryue Nishizawa is a Tokyo-based architect and the director of Office of Ryue Nishizawa, established in 1997, and as well he is also the co-founder of SANAA with Kazuyo Sezuma, established in 1995. A key relatively early work that most of us in the room will know is the Moriyama House from 2005, which articulates a unique relationship between house and the city. A more recent house, which equally challenges conventions of in and out of public and private, is the Garden and House from 2013. Together with other residential projects, Nishizawa's work challenges the conventional approaches to how you place a house in the city as often a very heavily internalized and siloed experience. Instead, each of these houses represent an opportunity to both contribute to the wider urban context and to enlarge the scale of what it means to live in the city. Nishizawa-san has been responsible for many extraordinary cultural projects, such as Teshima Art Museum, which reduces architectural form to its most elemental. Also, the new Museum of Contemporary Art in New York City and the Louvre-Lens, an outpost of the Musée du Louvre in Lens, northern France. I had the good fortune a few months ago to see his Hiroshi Senju Museum in Karuizawa, and with the subtleness and limited palette of very few elements, it's amazing what the experience this architect can produce. More locally, a current project is the expansion of the Art Gallery of New South Wales, as I'm sure you're all very familiar with. With such an extraordinary portfolio, it comes as a little surprise that Nishizawa-san became the youngest ever recipient of the Pritzker Prize in 2010. So please make him welcome to Melbourne.
Good afternoon. Thank you. My name is Ryue Nishizawa. Thank you very much for inviting me today in such a great event. I feel very honored to have this opportunity to present my works. Today, I would like to show 7 projects that we have done or we are now doing to tell what kind of idea I want to have in architecture. Sometimes the project that I will show today, sometimes museum, sometimes community center, sometimes small house. But I try to do, on every project, I try to do something different, but there is something which, how to say, the same principle continuing all across the project. One of the things I'm really interested in architecture is that the architecture doesn't come alone. Architecture always comes with surroundings. And then I always try to create kind of harmony or continuous relation between architecture and nature. This is the first project that I want to show here today, which is a museum that I made in a small island in Japan. This museum has a few very interesting programs. First one is they want to show only one art piece, which is a water project. Water appears from the ground, and then the fountain getting big during the day. It's a really simple art piece. And second interesting program is that they don't want to change this art. They want to show this forever. This interesting program bring me to this idea about, especially about how architecture, nature, and art can create one world together. And this is the schematic diagram, concept diagram to show my idea, which is free form. There's a floor. Floor is a campus of art project. So that I did a free curve line to define the area of art area. One of the reasons why I did a free curve is that it can fit very well in the nature. If I do straight line, I should cut mountain next to the project, but free form shape allow architecture to stay there without any manipulation of the nature. I thought this is a really interesting idea to build architecture in the nature, so I did a free form curve. But it happened not only lateral direction, but also elevation direction to create one room, so that the structure span 60 meters in long direction without any column or wall. So we can have a really big one room sheltered by the freeform shape. This is a computer graphic image that I made during the design phase to imagine what inside look like. And then one of the issue, there are many difficult issues to be solved during the project. One of the things is that how we create three-dimensional concrete shell structure. This idea is that normally concrete structure is made with wooden plywood formwork because it's normally concrete is flat. But in this case, we did soil, earth homework because anyway, when we dig the foundation, we have a soil. And the soil is kind of free-form sculpture idea. We can make whatever, any kind of shape. I thought that this construction way is really work very well with this kind of structure. And first, we dig the ground to create a foundation, and then we make a mountain for formwork, and then we do reinforcement on it. This is the photo I took the construction just next to the project. This photo I tried to tell how low structure stays. This is one of the important, it was really important for me to keep the height of the architecture very low to create a harmonious relation between architecture and the nature. And then the concrete worker people come to pour the concrete, spending 22 hours because structure is big. And the shell structure, you can't divide it into 2 or 3 pieces. Construction works must go all at once. And then all of the structure has been poured by concrete except some whole parts. This is the hole where the construction people come in to bring earth out from the project. The freeform curve is shared by the architecture and the nature. People don't know how the people don't know the freeform come from architecture concept or from nature. This is like a really mutual relation is something that I wish to make. And then contractor people come inside the structure to bring the soil out to create space under the structure. And then a few big opening is left here. And the water art appears just under the hole. And then finally I proposed the artist to keep this window open without any glass. I thought this is really nice that some rainy day, rain coming in to join nature and the art come together in the structure. This is, I thought, a really nice experience. And then there are a few openings for nature, and there's another opening below for people to come in and come out. And then I try to create not only architecture, but also together with the landscape. There's a line, circular line, just next to the art to take people, to bring people to the art project. This is well, anyway, there's a ticket office at the top, and then people can't. Oh, yes, this is nice. How can you? Yes, there's a ticket office here, but people can't directly come here because I made a circular line. It's like people. It's kind of one-way walk. People can walk only this direction. So after buying ticket here, they come to the hill to see the rice field in front. And then there's a beautiful sea below the rice field where they can see. And then they come into the forest. And then they walk through the forest to come to the art. I try to create a, how to say, each experience continues through nature and architecture. So everybody walk through the woods to come to the gate. This is the entrance hall, entrance opening where people come in. It's really narrow, but once you enter, the width of the space enlarge because it's a free form. You can feel like a topography movement even during staying inside. And the hall is kept open to invite rain or wind or the bugs or animal coming in and out. It's a part of the nature, but still you can feel a little bit you are protected by the structure. You can feel structure, you can feel architecture and the nature together. And this is another museum project that I recently made in the north side of Japan. This is called Senju Museum. This museum is mainly exhibit only one painter's paintings, whose name is Senju-san. It's kind of private museum. And then the project site is it's sloping. There are 3 meter height difference between the front and the back. So my idea is use the existing topography as an architecture floor. My idea is not manipulate the ground for architecture, but manipulate the shape of architecture to stand on the slope. This is a floor plan. Basically, it's one room, but some part is divided by the patio, or structure wall are spread over the space to support the roof, so that each corner are divided by the structure wall or round patio. And then there is a contour line topography going across the space to create a corner a little bit different between. And another shape of the roof is floating above the slope. And then there are a few principles in this museum. Basically, one structure wall have one art. And then you move from the wall to the other wall. And during you move, you feel nature. And then some wall is not the structure wall. It's a little bit, you can see there are a little bit gap between floor, ceiling, and wall. This is a temporary wall. This museum art collection is growing because this painter is still working he's a contemporary artist and he's really active, and collection is growing. So that this is the initial situation of when the museum start, but the wall gradually increase and the density getting high, but still you can feel the relation with the nature and the art. From the wall to the other wall, you meet patio, or you meet the garden outside. And then I made a big eaves and screen to diffuse the light, but still brightness is kept inside the roof. This is another project. This is a cafe project that which is built in the shrine garden in a really small island, which is this. Normally in Japan, shrine garden is not possible to build any architecture, but region people wanna have some cafe pavilion, which is really, doesn't look like heavy architecture. Sometimes during the summer festival, like movable architecture come to the garden to sell things. So that my idea is creating temporary light construction pavilion in the shrine garden. My idea is architecture with no foundation. It's how to say, movable, pushable. You can push it because there's no foundation. There's no connection with the land, so that you can push it. To make it possible, bottom of architecture become like only point. Normally, architecture is there's a gymnasium just next to my project, Normally, bottom of architecture must be large because it's not movable, but this case, I thought the minimum touch to the ground is really important. And the structure is steel plate. This case, I didn't do the concrete because of the lightweight. So two steel sheets are connected at 4 corners, and all the other part is free. So 2 steel sheets coming down to the ground, and then we have a space in between. And we invited both industrial people. This is in the island. There are many active ship industries still going on. So we invited both carpenter people to create a 3-dimensional metal plate. This is the detail of the corner to show how two metal sheets can get together. It's like a button. And the corner is really high, but it comes down very low to give only 2-meter ceiling height inside. So this is, I meant to make this for everybody, but actually only kids. Only kids can enjoy, and then only kids can enter. Because some part is become really low. There are many reasons. There's a shrine just next to me with a high ground. So the new project must stay lower than the shrine stage, so that it became really low. But still, it can be used. And this is another project. This is a house project that I made in the middle of the Tokyo. This is a house for 2 young women working together here and live together here. It's not pure house. It's a half house, but the other half working place, or I can say dormitory. It's a really interesting contemporary way to live in a house in the middle of the big city. One of the most interesting situation in this project is the site. We had 40 meters, really gigantic office building, apartment all around us. And then they are all 40 meters height, very big building. And then there is really little valley left between really big building. This is the site that they chose to live. I'm really surprised. The really extremely strict. This is not the residential area. This is a working area. Some people live here in the big apartment, but this is not the residential area. People, there are many offices around. The site is really look like a valley. It's bounded by the huge wall and a really narrow street in front. And then my idea is I didn't want to make a traditional house in the middle of the huge building. And then my idea is like program to be stacked. But each floor plate has a little garden and room. This is a ground floor, first upper floor, second, third. But every floor plate has a tiny room and a garden. But the relation of them changes and depends on the situation. And then I made holes, openings on the floor plates to get connected. every level become a little bit one. This is the model photo to see the relation between the room and the garden. So, the relation is, there are many different type of the arrangement of the room and the garden. This floor, I have a garden between two rooms, and then a bathroom, toilet is separated from the main part of the house, which is left. So that the people once come out to go to the bathroom. I thought this is nice in a really small house, privacy reason. I thought nice. It's comfortable to have a bathroom outside in the garden, separated from main part of the house. And then, since this house is really small, I put many program even in the garden. This is the lowest garden on the first upper level. You see the relation with the street and the garden is really closed. It looks like a mezzanine beside the street. And this can be used as a meeting room. Even during winter time, Tokyo is not that cold, so that you can use if you cover the room with the curtain. This is the relation with the garden, meeting space, and the back street. And this is the way you come to the bathroom. And then there are many holes to connect each levels, so that at each level you can feel a little bit separated, but you can hear the sound on another level. And then the tree growing to go out to the envelope of the architecture. It's like a blur the relation between inside and outside. And this is a museum project that we did for Louvre Museum. This museum is called Louvre-Lens because the site is not in Paris, but in a small town called Lens, which is 1 hour train ride from Gare du Nord in Paris. Lens, this town, was really famous with the coal mine industry the last century, but during 80s, they closed the mountain and then they lost industry. It became a big social issue, not only in Lens, but also France. I understand that's why Louvre Museum and the French government decide to build a second museum of Louvre in this town. The site here is not in the city center, but in the residential area. There is a small mountain in the residential area. This mountain became a project site. Long time ago, people was working on the hill, and then they come back to the home, bottom of the hill, mountain. This used to be a really industrial place. Now this mountain is not used, but they have a few industrial, historical asset, heritage left in the mountain. So issue is how we can build without disturbing, without breaking the historical context or historical heritage. One of our ideas, program is huge, like 35,000 square meter, And one of our idea is divide huge program into seven pieces to have a small scale for our project. And then the project look like many pavilion get together, and then each pavilion is located, stand on the different level because it's hill. It's not flat, really. This project, again, we try not to manipulate the site, to have a natural relation with the architecture and the surroundings. Once we also studied an option to make the site entirely flat, but we felt that once we made the mountain very flat, we have a feeling that the history is lost. A relation between the town and the mountain is gone. That's why we try to keep the natural continuity between the mountain and the town. Basically, this is one story on the ground. They are all open to the public, but it's really long project, but it's follow the topography so that you can go out or go in, come in at everywhere on the ground. Another thing that we propose is to make a skylight. Louvre collection is really historical. It start from 3,500 before Christ until French Revolution. It's really old collection. So we thought it's really nice to experience them under the natural daylight that we have today. Of course, this is we can shut down the skylight, but normally you can open up. You can change the mixture between bright and natural daylight and artificial daylight. And this is the permanent exhibition space, which is called timeline, because each art pieces are exhibited along the timeline, so that from the bottom of the photo, you start from the ancient art, and as you go up, you can experience the time going up to the 19th century. And then, as you see the black opening at the edge of the corner of the room, beyond this opening, we have a glass gallery, mainly exhibit contemporary art, or you can see the landscape of the lawns. So we try to create a continuity through the historical art and then the site context. This is the view you can see first when you enter the gallery. You can see the landscape of the historical arts, and then you come in the group of the art pieces. We decided not to exhibit art along the wall because the relation between art pieces in the European history is really complicated. It's if we exhibit them on the wall, the history become lying. But if we exhibit all of them on the floor, we can represent we can present the actual relation between each artist in a three-dimensional way, so that we chose to exhibit all art pieces on the floor, and then people get into them. And after experiencing the time gallery, we come to the glass gallery here. This is the pavilion which is coming into the nature, so that you can feel nature and you can see the town below the mountain, and you can understand the situation of the museum. There are many historical heritage left on the site. This is now exhibited in the garden, so that you can also walk around the garden to understand the context. The facade is made with the aluminum wall to reflect the nature. And then when this come into the gallery, it will reflect the art pieces. And then we have a skylight all the way in the gallery. And then the architecture is big. It's really big and long, but it doesn't give you the feeling of destroy the nature. Even if it's big, you still can feel the architecture and the nature can stay together. And this is a Sydney modern project that we are now working very much in Sydney. This is an extension project of the Art Gallery of New South Wales, which is there in the facing directly to the domain, Green Park. And there's an open area just right next to the existing gallery. The site is quite an interesting site because there's a highway going below, and there's a land bridge above the highway, and then there's a topography going down to the harbor, and there is a oil tank here, which is a little bit buried in the ground. This is a land bridge, and this is an oil tank, and this is a harbor. This oil tank is made very long time ago when the European people has come. They made a port and gasoline oil tank here, and this is now not used now. But we are trying to put the art exhibition program in the oil tank. The situation is really interesting because of the topography, because of the complex of the historical heritage. Like we have a highway, existing gallery, land bridge, and the walkway where people to commute from to the city, and the oil tank. There are 3 or 4 steps happen in the site. And then architecture follow this historical topographical steps. The gallery spaces, each gallery spaces are located on the different level. For instance, gallery 3 is here, just above the oil tank. And then gallery 2 come to the second lowest terrace, like here, together with the public corridor and the education program. And then first gallery come on top, just next to the existing gallery, together with the entrance hall and the plaza. This is a little bit shaded plaza to help people to come in rainy day. And then one big atrium, public atrium, connect every levels. This is the roof and the shaded entrance pavilion. This is a totally open space. And then there's a existing the walkway. People walk to the city. This is to be kept. So people walk through the museum every day. This is a section that you can see how the space continue from the top to the bottom, even to the oil tank. And this is, you can see how the existing gallery and the new gallery has a direct connection to the park or botanical garden in front. And this is an entrance situation that the people can see, visitor people can see first. There's the roof, shaded roof, and then entrance hall here. And then it's transparent. You can see the view to the harbor, which is open to the harbor direction here. And then you also can see the, atrium going down to onto oil tank. You can naturally, you are guided to come down to the harbor. And then each gallery has a, Japanese people call it engawa, kind of in between space between inside and outside. This is the gallery here, gallery on the left, but you can step out to enjoy the view. You can stay inside, and this is open corridor, but you can enjoy how landscape and the view changes from the domain and to the harbor, which is the lowest part. And then you sometimes can go out to enjoy really the nature. And then there are a few circulation going across all the way down to the lowest part, like stairs, elevator, and escalator. And then we have a cafe on the right. This atrium connect not only gallery but also some public program, which is a cafe or education classroom or museum shop. And this is the oil tank rooftop of the oil tank level with gallery 3. And then you can finally come down inside to see the historical gallery, oil tank. So by going through the architecture, you can feel the nature, and then you can feel the historical different times continue from the top to the ground. Because you can see the existing gallery, you can see the highway, land bridge, and the rooftop oil tank, and the inside oil tank, and the harbor outside. This is the way people walk. People, they don't have to enter the museum when they go across, because this is a kind of architecture, but a kind of a park people can walk through. I think this is the last image that I can show today. Every project we try to create the mutual relation between architecture and the nature, and the people can experience in a continuous relation. The architecture and the nature always can stay together in a nice way. Thank you very much.